Hi everyone, I'm Stu.
I'm Sara. Welcome back to the 300 Bird Challenge.
Because you're such ardent and loyal viewers, you already know, don't you, that we're trying to see 300 different bird species before the end of the year. It's also today eBird's Global Big Day, so we're trying to see just today as many birds as we possibly can, even if it's ones we've already seen this year. We are at Tommy Thompson Park. We'll tell you a bit more about that and the Global Big Day after this. Hi guys, welcome back. So as mentioned, today we're at Tommy Thompson Park in Toronto, just down by the lakefront. Tommy Thompson Park juts out 5 kilometres into Lake Ontario, a human-made paradise sprawling across 1,200 acres. It's one of Toronto's hottest birding spots, and perhaps one of the top sites in all of Ontario. And today is eBird's Global Big Day. eBird is a website where people submit their bird sightings all over the world for research purposes and to keep life lists and all that kind of thing. Sara, do you want to talk about what the Global Big Day is?
So today is October 12th, which is the October Big Day, to distinguish it from the Global Big Day in the spring. It is to align with World Migratory Bird Day, and it is so that they can raise awareness and have participation to track where birds are, especially during this fall migration season.
So today we're going to see how many birds we can see. Not going to be as strict as we are for the 300 bird challenge. I might not get everything on camera. It's difficult to get everything on camera, but we'll certainly let you guys know what we see, and I'll show you as much as possible. Let's see how many birds we can see today at Tommy Thompson Park. We'll keep a count in our heads, show you our eBird list at the end, and let you know how we did. Just after dawn, the golden sun began its ascent through the trees, casting everything in a warm glow, perfect for bird watching. First bird of the day, a song sparrow, kicking off our morning. And hiding among those willow leaves, a red-breasted nuthatch. Somewhere in there anyway. This park is great for waterfowl, and although there was nothing in the marina, we moved on to this marsh. Given that it's the eBird Global Big Day, we're counting how many birds we see. This wood duck makes it 3 birds. Bird 4 is a great egret. Now we might not get all birds on camera, but rest assured we're keeping count, and we'll show you a list at the end of this video. But there were herons, shovelers and mallards on the marsh too. The path took us near to the Bird Banding Research Centre, where we diligently checked the trees for birds. Well, I was a little bit worried. Things started out fairly quiet along what is called the Spine Road, the main footpath through Tommy Thompson Park, but we've made our way towards the Research Centre, the Banding Centre. Things have started to pick up a little bit, lots of kinglets around. It was kinglets galore today throughout the park. This is a ruby-crowned kinglet, but both species are currently migrating through Ontario.
White-throat.
There were lots of white-throated sparrows too. This one is gorging on buckthorn berries. This plant fruits into fall, and it's a common food source for lots of bird species. Actually, there was a lot of activity around this buckthorn, including this catbird. In addition to this robin, there were a few other camera-shy thrushes around. We think that they were all hermit thrushes. Also, here's an eastern towhee, still sticking around. They migrate south of the Great Lakes around this time of year. And a little bit blocked by the undergrowth, but there were lots of yellow-rumped warblers in this area. They're one of the last warblers to migrate south. We'll be really glad when these birds return and spring is back in Ontario. Another ruby-crowned kinglet. This part of the park seemed a favourable spot for them. And I didn't get it on camera, but a palm warbler was quite notable for still being around at this time of year. Here's one of the many golden-crowned kinglets that just never sit still. Photographer's worst nightmare, the lot of them. An eastern phoebe here. These birds are usually late to migrate, although a small number of them will attempt to overwinter in southern Ontario, so they may never leave. We checked for waterfowl across Toronto's outer harbour, where great views of the skyline can be had. After the break, we'll check the bay at the sailing club to the southwest. We had a little look out over this bay at the sailing club and saw mallards and a couple of American widgeon. More waterfowl species are beginning to show up as we move towards winter. Brrr. The staff at the research station told us they'd released a yellow-bellied sapsucker and we found it nearby. Let's freeze this shot and appreciate that nice red throat. We moved on from the research station to this lookout spot here over the marsh from earlier. More shovelers, and there's a heron in the background. There it is. Another yellow-rumped warbler, only this one is sitting still for a change. Alright guys, we left the banding station area a few moments ago. We actually spoke to some of the volunteer staff there to see what they had been banding. Not a great deal, lots of kinglets, which we've seen too, golden and ruby crowned, and what else, yellow rump warblers or myrtle warblers, lots of those too, which we've also seen, sapsucker, and that was about the extent of what they've seen. So it's a bit of a tough day, but we'll continue to see what else we can find. As you can see behind us, we're now near one of the cells, see if there's any waterfowl out there. Some scorp out on the water. We think these ones are greater scorp, but a little more notable was this single pied-billed grebe.
The head shape makes me think pied-billed grebe.
We also had this red-tailed hawk circle a couple of times overhead. We crossed the little red pedestrian bridge. Tommy Thompson Park is pretty massive, but we hoped to make it to Pipit Point on this visit. Even more great views from this vantage point, looking back towards the skyline of the Six. Okay Sarah, how many species are we at for eBird's Global Big Day?
We're at 37 species.
Quite a few of those won't be on camera guys, hopefully that gives you some idea of how hard the 300 bird challenge is. Some examples, we've seen a palm warbler, a couple of kingfishers. What else have we seen that I've not been able to get on camera? There's a few.
Yeah.
The trek towards Pipit Point was almost complete. A bunch more scorp on the water, but a small number of redheads mixed in too. An ever-friendly chickadee, classic. Another bird to our tally. And I'm afraid to tell you, but the juncos are back. This is our first shot of a junco this season as we head towards colder times. We finally reached the point. We took a look around the water, and there were some more familiar faces. Canada geese, and some mute swans milling around the calmer waters closer to the shore. Many of the double-crested cormorants that roost here have moved on by now, but a few were still out swimming on the lake. We have come as far as Pipit Point, which is actually the furthest we've come in Tommy Thompson Park before, just because that spine road is such a difficult walk. We were hoping that there'd be a party of American pipits waiting for us. That would be a new bird for the 300 bird challenge as well as for the day. Sadly not. We're going to take a quick break here and then we're going to have to start heading back, but we'll see if we can find any more species before the day is out. We spent some time taking a break at the point. As we let some time pass, let's head for a quick break. time was getting on a little, so we pressed on back through the park. The spine road winds on and on. One of these days we're going to have to bring bikes and try to save our legs. We skipped some of the marsh habitat, unfortunately, and it turned out we missed a rare long-billed Dowitcher that was reported later in the day, but don't worry, we'll come back for it later in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. In the meantime, we hit a few more species, like this American goldfinch, and several hermit thrushes throughout the day too. Okay, we interrupt this program for a brief moment. Let's skip forward a couple of days and check out that rare Dowitcher. Okay guys, welcome back. 2 days later, Tommy Thompson Park, October the 14th. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. We've returned. Now, it's a different day, so this bird won't count for the eBird Global Big Day, but it is a lifer. We heard about this bird, long-billed Dowitcher. It's at Tommy Thompson Park. We've returned. We couldn't find it the first time, but we found it today. Let's take a look. What a fancy bird. We're really happy to be able to add this new bird to our count, and it's also a lifer. We watched it for quite a while as it probed the wet mud looking for food. It was preoccupied enough that we were able to get nice close shots. Long-billed Dowitchers are quite rare in southern Ontario, not unheard of because small numbers fly through mostly during fall migration, but this is the only recorded sighting in Toronto in 2024, along with a second individual that joined this one a few days later. Long-billed Dowitchers are gorgeous looking in breeding plumage with cinnamon orangey coloured fronts with black, white and cinnamon speckled backs. This individual is probably a juvenile male. It was so preoccupied it barely lifted its head for me to get a nice look at that long bill, but here's a quick moment here. And here's a photo. As the bird's name suggests, there is also a short-billed Dowitcher. Actually, we saw one in our last video. If you didn't see that from Cape May, go take a look. Both species are pretty hard to tell apart. When feeding, the long-billed Dowitcher, this bird, has the appearance of a very hunched-looking back. The bells, Esmeralda, the bells! These birds spend the summer breeding in the remote tundra of Alaska and northwestern Canada, and then spend the winter in the warmer climes of the southern USA, Mexico, Central America, and so on. Well, before we return back to October the 12th and our eBird Global Big Day, it's worth pointing out a couple more observations from today before we leave. Over the last few weeks, tons of turkey vultures have been kettling, riding thermals on their southern migration. We saw over 60 individuals today. We also enjoyed watching this American mink on the hunt for a meal. Okay, let's head back to the 12th of October and the conclusion of our big day. Okay guys, well, not very much happened in the latter part of that. Walking back towards the car, we really didn't see any new species or anything of particular note, so here we are at the end of the video. Let's take a look at how we did today. Okay everyone, thank you for watching this video. Please do the usual nice things. If you hit the like button, it will hopefully help other people find the channel. Also, we appreciate your comments and any other kind of engagement, but most of all, we like it when you subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button followed by the bell icon. That will give you notifications whenever we post a new video. We'll be back soon. Hopefully we can get to 300 birds. Happy birding everyone, bye for now.
Bye.